I have lived in DC for 2.5 years at this point, and DC is a spectacular city, baseline, starting off with that. But there are some things that I just really want to do that are classic DC things that I just haven't had the time to do, or my friends didn't want to do. So I'm in DC by myself this weekend, and there's a huge list of museums that I've always wanted to go to, but haven't had the time or haven't had the means, but I'm gonna do them this weekend. If you aren't familiar, there's a ton of museums in DC. 90% of them are free because a lot of them are funded by the Smithsonian Institution, and they're just amazing. I think that the DC museum system is truly some of the best in the entire world. So I have this afternoon, and to make life more interesting, I'm going to try to visit as many DC museums as I can in this time period. This will be an interesting challenge because in the past, I've never successfully visited more than one museum in a day. There's something about visiting museums that's just really tiring. I'm also beginning to get a little bit tired, but I have 6 on the agenda, and I'm just gonna try to see how many I can get through. I am definitely a slow museum goer. I like to take my time in museums, so this will be interesting. I definitely won't be able to, if I'm trying to hit all 6, be able to give each of them the justice that they deserve. This is also by no means like what I think the best museums in DC are. I'm trying to go to ones that I've never been to before to check them off my bucket list. So take that into account too. The 6 that I have plans to go to, we'll see if I actually end up being able to go to them. But I've got the Museum of Natural History, the National Archives, the Hirshhorn Museum and Sculpture Garden, the National Museum of Asian Art, the National Postal Museum, and then the Library of Congress. I really wanted to also go to the African American Museum, but you have to have timed entry, and as of last night, they were fully booked for today. So I'm also running late. It's 11:24 right now, and all the museums close at 5. So yeah, we'll see what happens. But I'm gonna take you along with me. First up on the list today is the Museum of Natural History. I'm super excited about this one. It has been ranked like the best natural history museum in the world, and I've never been, so let's see what it's about. Also, just a moment for how beautiful DC is in the fall. It is such lovely weather right now. There are so many people out. It's perfect. Just perfect.
The Museum of Natural History might actually be my favorite museum of the day. It's just so spectacular. I'm a big fan of natural exhibits, and there was just everything you could want. There were fossils, there were natural features, there were bones and different exhibits on the ocean, and it was honestly just so spectacular. I tried to capture it in clips here, but I don't even know if that does it all justice.
I am literally blown away by how cool all of this is. Wow, that was really spectacular. Probably one of the better museums I've ever been to. It was like every single time I saw something cool, and then I just kept going, and there was like more and more cool stuff. So like you start off, there's these tons of fossils. You see so many cool fossils, and you're like, wow, this is cool. And then you go into an exhibit on the oceans, and you're like, wow, this is cool. This is a skeleton of a giant seal. See the Hope Diamond. It was really stunning and well done. Okay, next up, I'm heading to the National Archives. I'm not going to spend a ton of time in there because I really just want to see the founding documents, so that'll be kind of quick. But conveniently enough, most of the museums that I'm visiting today are all along the National Mall. So the archives are actually like right next to the Museum of Natural History. So there's a bunch of different exhibits, but the one that I want to go to is the Rotunda because that has all the famous documents.
We got time on our side. We're in a state of hope. I need you on my fire. I want you to know that every time you're away, I long for you so much I can find my way. We got everything here, at least to stay alive, and the time that we share.
Okay, that was really cool. It was really interesting as a history teacher to be able to see the originals of these documents that have caused both so much good and so much trouble in the United States. It was really impactful. Those documents are super powerful. And yeah, on to the next one. We've done 2. I am attempting to get to 4 before all the museums close at 5:30. I'm at Hirshhorn. Never been to this one. I know it's an art museum, but that's pretty much all I know. So let's go explore it.
Hirshhorn is just cool. It is just a really cool museum. It is modern art. And I'll be perfectly honest, a lot of modern art goes way over my head, but I loved this place. I loved the exhibits. I loved this one specifically with all the words and the phrases. Oh my gosh, it was so cool. There was so much to see, so much to read. I just sat there for a while.
That exhibit was the Laurie Anderson exhibit, and that's my new favorite. That was really cool.
Makes it all worthwhile. Got this place on our own. Do you feel that we got something strong?
Okay, this one is Jessica Diamond, and I also really like this one.
So you walking the line.
Wow, that was so cool. I'm usually not like a big artsy girl, but I really loved some of the exhibits in there, particularly the Laurie Anderson one that was all the writing on the walls. It had tons of cool quotes. It was loud in there, like they were playing this interesting music, and I got stressed, but I think that was the point of it. So I have about a spare half hour, so I'm going to try to pop over to the Museum of Asian Art, which is conveniently like a 4-minute walk from Hirshhorn. So let's go do that now. I'd actually be pivoting because the National Museum of African Art is like right here, so I might go in to this one instead. This one was on my list, but I didn't quite know where it was. Okay, I clearly didn't do enough research because this museum connects to the Asian Art Museum. Oh no. Okay, I didn't know that they were connected. But that was kind of cool. I went in the Museum of African Art and then I came out the Museum of Asian Art. Both are spectacular. There were definitely exhibits that I didn't get to, but I have a timed entry for the Library of Congress, so I have to go head there now. It's about a 20-minute walk, the furthest walking that I will do today. Another shameless plug for museums in DC is that they're free. Besides timed entry and like food, I haven't spent any money today on any of these things. So big plug for, and shout out, I guess, to the Smithsonian's for making education free and accessible for everyone. I'm also beginning to get a little bit tired. I normally only try to do one museum in a day because it's a lot. Like, it's a lot of learning and standing and walking. But the last couple that I have planned, I'm really, really excited about. So I'm just gonna suck it up. Okay, almost at the Library of Congress.
We got time on our side. We're in a state of hope. I need you on my fire. I want you to know that every time you're away, I long for you so much I can find my way. We got everything.
Okay, definitely super cool. I did not know that the Library of Congress was the biggest library in the world. You can't actually go down to the reading room unless you have a special card, so I'm gonna get that. But the library hosts happy hours every Thursday. To be expected, they had some really cool things in there. I think the coolest one that I saw was the Gutenberg Bible. There's apparently only like 180 copies in the world, and the Library of Congress has one. Going to all these museums makes me wanna read a book, educate myself, listen to a podcast. Makes me want to just be smarter. Okay, I have one museum left, and it is not on the National Mall. It's not really on the beaten path. It's definitely a DC local, like if you know, you know one. But I'm going to the National Postal Museum, and I've heard that it's small, but I've heard that it's like super, super well done. And yeah, I have about an hour until it closes, so I'm gonna go explore. That'll put me at 7 museums for the day, which like tracks. I'm feeling kind of tired, but I'm hoping that it's super, super interesting and lives up to all the hype about it. Okay, made it to the Postal Museum. It's right by Union Station.
Come as a surprise. Now with you I feel alive. You will be the last one I think about. When it all breaks down, I'll wait for you right here.
There's honestly like way more to that museum than I was expecting there to be. I liked the exhibit on stamps and all the cool different stamps that they had, and then I liked the exhibit on letter writing during war. I thought that was cool. I am literally so tired. I went to 7. That was a successful mission. I feel like my brain's gonna explode and my feet are gonna fall off. If you're coming to Washington DC, I do not recommend going to this many museums at once. I think 1 or 2, honestly, for the day to really like immerse yourself. But if you want to see a lot, you could do 7. There are also so many more museums in DC that I didn't go to in this video that I've been to before, and so many that I haven't been to. DC is like a museum hub. There's a ton. But that was so fun. Thanks for coming along with me. I'm gonna end this video now. Hopefully I inspired some of your future DC trip planning. Go to a museum, even if you're young. It's good for us. It's good for our brains. Bye.
We got time on our side. We're in a